Yep, I quit my job during a pandemic. And if you are feeling that urge as well, here are three things that I considered first before handing over that resignation letter that changed my life. What's up, guys? It's Nick. I'm a money mindset coach empowering working professionals in crises to fund their freedom into reality. Exactly 6 months ago, I decided to quit my corporate job after 6 years so I could pursue my coaching business full time. So in my recent TikTok video, I shared that there's just a lot of content out there telling you that it's your sign to quit, mag-resign ka na, and all that. But that could give you more harm than good if you are not prepared for the actual consequences. From my own experience, it took a lot of self-reflection to make sure that I make the right decision for myself. As you know, I talk a lot about overcoming impulsive buying in this channel, and it's just as dangerous if you quit your job out of impulse. So in this video, I'm sharing my journey so you can get some tips on making the best decision for yourself. If you're all about that, then make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel because I don't miss out on a new video every single weekend. Now let's get into the 3 money lessons that I learned from quitting my job so that you can take them into consideration as well. Number one is having clarity on your life vision. So this is where you can have a greater sense of direction on like what your values are, what is your purpose, like why do you wake up every single day? Because trust me, it's not just waking every day and just to pay the bills. What is your why? Have a clearer why that is personalized to you so that that will be like your driving force going into a different industry. Is it moving to another job? Is it wanting a promotion? Is it getting into business? If you're thinking about quitting your job, then what is the career path for you? Do you still see yourself there in the next 2 to 3 years in the same industry or not? The answer to that ultimately lies to your life vision. Because for me, when I really became clear on what my life vision is, it also pulled me away, lifted me from my quarter life crisis. Because the thing is, when you're in crisis mode, you're like, what is the purpose of this? Like for me, like when I coach my clients and really dig deep into what is the life vision that is personalized to you, okay? It's not like, oh, I want to have 1 million pesos. Oh, I want to have a house. Oh, I want to have a car. Oh, I want to have a property. Those are tangible things that you wish to have. But what gives you the sense of purpose, sense of direction, sense of clarity that every single day you are working for something that is beyond yourself, beyond just buying things. That's why I love working on the money mindset, okay? It's really understanding based on your life vision, let's determine the clear role of money to get to that vision. The biggest mistake is when we focus on the number. We're like, oh, let me move to another company because they have a bigger salary. Let's move to a different industry because there's higher potential that I will get promoted and get a higher pay raise. But is that career really aligned to your values, to your vision, to your mission in your own life? Those are the things that we don't ask ourselves enough. What is that career industry that is aligned to your life vision? And then let's determine the ideal monthly income from there. This is what really helps my clients understand that their goals, their dreams, their vision, it's actually achievable. So for me, when I got clear on my own personal life vision, I realized that being in corporate was not aligned anymore with my values, with where I want to be, with where I see myself in the next few years. So why stay in something that I know I don't see myself in? I've had clients who realized during our calls that they actually want to move to a different industry or to start a business that they're actually passionate about. They've just been staying in the same job because it's comfortable, because it's safe. What if you could actually wake up and have a greater sense of purpose and excitement in your life? If you want to learn more how you can master your money mindset, then register to my free 60-minute training through the link below. So this is where I share my signature framework that I also teach to my clients. I share the step-by-step on how it works, how it's proven to work, what you're missing, and things like that. So if you are in that crossroads of whether to quit or not, so you can check out that training. I will link it below. All you have to do is register with your email so I could send you the video training direct to your inbox. Number 2 is have an emergency fund for your survival. The baseline foundation here is, can you survive 3 to 6 months without a stable job? Can you survive paying your monthly expenses? And the thing is, it's very different per person, right? Like if you are still living with your parents, nagbabayad ka ba ng bills? Nag-aambag ka ba sa bahay? Will you still be able to give that? Are you a breadwinner? Will you be able to cover everything that you are helping your family with? Like for me, I am living by myself in a condo. So I needed to make sure that I cover everything that I usually pay for. I still want to make sure that I am living comfortably. I don't have to be stressed about my liabilities, yung mga utang and things like that. And before you have an emergency fund, it's very important to pay off all your debts first. It's very difficult if you quit your job and then you still have debts to pay that are running after you month on month, especially credit card bills. So if you're thinking about quitting your job, then it's very, very much important to make sure that you have a clear timeline on when you're going to hit your desired emergency fund with 3 to 6 months of expenses, so that you have then the freedom to quit because you know that you're covered for the next 6 months. Beyond just surviving with your monthly expenses, this is also the great time to think about like what is your next step, right? Because your next step may entail cost. Like for me, I knew my next step was not to find the next job, but to actually start my own coaching business, to start my own thing from home. And because of that, I needed to consider like, do I have enough buffer expenses to make sure that I'll be able to focus on building my business? I don't want to think about like, oh shucks, I won't be able to spend on food because I need to use that for my business and things like that. I wanted to make sure that I am operating with ease rather than in panic mode. Because what happens when you're in panic mode, you might get into the wrong things, the wrong investments, the wrong business moves, the wrong career steps, or the wrong career ventures, you know. In general, before I even quit, like I had to think of like what my business plan would be rather than after I quit, doon ko lang pag-isipan na what to do with my life. So ultimately, if you're able to build your emergency fund mindfully over time, right, while you are building it, then you're able to discern like what is the right step for you. And this is what I love coaching my clients on, because most of the time we think we don't know what our next move would be, but it's actually just something that we've been ignoring because we're scared to say it out loud, because if we say it, then what if we fail in doing that? So what I love to do is really facilitate questions, exercises that would allow my clients to really understand what is the best decision for them in order to really maximize their emergency fund, in order to maximize their life. I have a client who realized that her current career is no longer aligned to her dream life is. I've always been passionate about this specific industry, this specific passion, but like I was always so scared to start something I never knew, but I know I loved it. And so that's what I get into like, okay, so what do you want to do? Be scared of taking risks, or be scared that you're always just going to regret and think about what if? The answer has been with them all along. It's just that they never had the safe space to really vocalize what has always been on their mind. And that's why I've been so passionate about coaching, because like it's really the one-on-one intimate container where we can really just unravel everything that you've kept hidden. So if you'd like to fast track building your emergency fund and be clear on your life vision once and for all, and not feel like you are in crisis mode for the longest time, and actually take action on the goals that you've always wanted to do, then join me in my one-on-one coaching program. So this is an 8-week program where I will personalize and tailor fit all the modules for you so that you can master mindful saving and spending habits under 60 days so that you can fund your freedom into reality just like I did. And what I love about it is that it's just proven and tested by me and my clients. It's going to be 8 weekly one-on-one calls, and then you can still chat with me after our coaching calls so that we could keep in touch, because I want to be your mentor and accountability partner, right? When my clients just tell me that they are just so grateful that I decided to show up and be their coach, because it has completely changed their lives. Like they knew that having this a greater sense of purpose, a greater sense of direction has really allowed them to be more mindful of their habits, to take more conscious effort to save, not just for like the quote-unquote future, but with actual specific detailed goals and timelines that will actually allow them to get there. Because guys, like it took me 6 years to be where I am now, and it's not just about Excel sheets or like trackers. It's really about stepping in to a new identity, to have courage, to trust yourself, to have confidence in yourself again, so that you can really step into the best version of yourself. And if you feel like you are so ready and so committed to fast track your financial goals with me, then I would love love to welcome you inside my one-on-one coaching program. All you have to do is fill in the booking form through the link below. So it's just a questionnaire so that I can better understand your needs, where you are, so that I can guide you to where you want to be. Third thing is build a freedom fund for taking the leap. So this is what I'm also just as passionate about. Is what I realized was that even though I built my emergency fund before, it didn't really cross my mind to move towards what I really wanted, which is to start my business, is because I didn't feel like it would be quote unquote enough to take the leap, to take a whole different path. Leap can be different per person. It can be like doing a whole 180 career switch. Maybe it's you starting a business and things like that. I wanted to make sure that I felt financially stable and I felt free to make the right business decisions. And that's when I decided to build a freedom fund. And that's when I had more confidence and trust in myself that I could quit my job, because it is a huge leap of faith to do what I'm doing. But I feel like if I was just going to move to a different job, then having an emergency fund would be enough. But a freedom fund is more solid if you're doing a whole completely different venture. When people hit their midlife crisis, like when they're like 50s, they start buying like that motorcycle, or they buy like some random thing, they buy a new car, and you're like, why are they buying this when they're already at that point in their life when they don't really need to do that? Why can't we have the same breathing space, the opportunity to do that when we hit our quarter life crisis? Why can't we have the freedom of choice to pivot, to change your mind? And this is where the freedom fund comes in, is when if you just decided to change your mind, we're not supposed to be firm about what we want when we hit 20 or 21. If we are, then I feel like life would be really boring. Like I had a client who just wanted to have a 1-month trip to Siargao, just because she always wanted to live that island girl life. Aren't those the kinds of dreams that we always kind of have in the back of our minds? But then we're like, imposible yun, imposible yun, imposible yun. It's only impossible because we keep giving in to short-term things every single day rather than thinking about what is the kind of value that I want in the long term. For me, one of the biggest wake-up calls that I had when I was in my quarter life crisis and figuring out if I should quit my job or if I should start my business was like when my mentor told me, like, when was the last time you even took a risk? Imagine if you actually had the courage, you actually had the confidence, you actually had the financial stability to take a risk based on what is aligned to your life vision and what actually you find more enjoyable, what you find that you are passionate about. That's what drew me into coaching, is that it's really unpacking all those answers in you by facilitating questions, through exercises, through the right guidance, so that you feel that ultimately you are honoring yourself, you are making the best decision for yourself. Because guess what? Do you always want those to be just plans? Or do you actually want it to be a plan of action once and for all? If you want to learn more about how my coaching program works, how my clients are winning right now and just having the best life-changing experience, you can check out on Instagram my client wins in my IG highlights, and you can check it there because it just goes to show that they are evidence that if they decided to invest in themselves and prioritize themselves, then they can get to a place that actually fulfills them, that is actually possible for them. So remember, if you'd like to join my one-on-one program, I have slots opening in the second week of November. If you want to learn more about it, you can also DM me on Instagram and we can chat over there. And if you're interested with more money lessons, I have 2 videos over here about the best money skills and the worst money mistakes I've had, so that you don't make the same mistake that I did. So I will see you there as well.